let's blast the freak off and let's keep it going. Let's keep the momentum going. What was I gonna say? Nah, bro, you gotta see this shit ain't sweet, huh? Oh, I did see this. Yeah, I did. He's brilliant. He's a fucking auteur and you don't understand it. So shut up. Any collabs soon? No collabs on the docket. I've been trying to get the FaZe boys to do another ball stream this weekend, but the problem is we haven't been able to get the access necessary to the courts. But once we do, you know, I'll figure that out. But anyway, New York Times piece, when Megaphonics asked like 8 more times this question that I have no answer for, please. There's apparently a Trump town hall moderated by Tulsi before the Harris Walls interview. Oh my fucking Lord, that's incredible. Okay. When are we doing the census? Maybe tomorrow. I was thinking we could do the census tomorrow. Yo, how much do you weigh? You big as fuck. Currently 226 pounds, baby. Or no, 228. I actually dropped some weight. Very excited about that. Post convention, I had a little bump, just like Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris got a post convention polling bump. I got a post convention baby bump. You know what I mean? A little pregnancy. Okay, a little mpreg. So I thought I skyrocketed up to like 236 or something. It was all water weight. And I'm back underneath the 230 barrier at 228 as of this morning. Very excited for that, which is kind of crazy because it's like 228 pounds is like is massive, right? But for me, it's like it's the skinniest I've been in years, you know. How are you lighter than me? Very carefully. Believable TikTok I came across the other day. I don't really like this guy that much. The Sifu, the guys who ball in the fucking water. It's like my least favorite type of Chinese talk. Even though I love Chinese netizens and I love China talk, is that one I don't like as much. I don't like the series. Maybe because they're like not playing basketball well and it like triggers me. All right, we'll look at it in a second. Let me blast off. I'm 5'8" and I'm like 10 pounds over you. That's crazy. Yeah. All right, we'll do it. Hassan Minhaj talks to Bernie about ceasefire. Okay. Kamala lead widens. Kins broadly want weapons halt on Israel. Not playing basketball well, brother. We have seen your streams. Yo, you're just talking shit at that point. You know what I mean? I love when chatters will be like, listen, I love talking shit to my content creator, so I'm just gonna fucking say shit. I mean, I'm not like the best basketball player by any means, but I think I'm a pretty decent basketball player in general. Not only that, but it's like that. It's like talking shit about my Wukong gameplay. You know what I mean? It's like, it's objectively good. I'm objectively good at it. You know what I mean? I'm not bad at it. I'm actually pretty fucking decent. All right. I've been cooking up these goddamn bosses left and right. And it is becoming kind of undeniable. If we're being real, if we're being really real, it's just, I'm cooking and I'm booking. Themasius, I got your playlist. Thank you. Way better than average. With all due respect, Hassan, you are not good compared to Twitch chatters, sure, but a hooper, nah. Dog, you can say that all day, every day, but I play against people, and ultimately, basketball is a game about putting numbers, okay? Putting up numbers. And it seems like I've yet to, like, obviously a fucking, like a D1 athlete would easily clear me, okay? In terms of basketball. But like most people, including other fucking hoopers, I hold my own against pretty fucking well. I hooped against like real certifiable ballers, people who literally played in college. I was a decent benefit to my team in the starting 5. Hassan defending his game and basketball. Hassan, you're pure butt at basketball. I play against NBAs. Okay, sure. When are you going to work on the vertical? I mean, I think I'm too old and also too fat to just fix that at a certain point. I would love to hoop with you. Okay, dude. Okay. Well, you can't be chirping at me and then being like, chatters who leave the stream whenever they see a basketball court on camera have an opinion on their basketball skills. Yeah. Prove about beating Flight on stream. I would love to beat Flight 100%. That's not even a question. Okay. When I say fat, I just mean like heavy. Okay. When you're heavy, it doesn't matter. Chat, you have to remember it can be muscle. It can be straight bone. It can be water. Okay. But I'm a heavy motherfucker. For me to be like, for me at my size to have hooper physique, I would have to be like under 200 pounds. Okay. Like, I would have to lose muscle mass. I would have to lose a shit ton more fat. Like, we're talking about, what do you mean? Old LeBron dunking at 40? How could you compare me to a fucking alien, dude? LeBron James was literally dropped into Akron, Ohio from space. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? What a comparison. Literally a freak athlete, the top scorer in the NBA historically, and you're comparing me to him. You are comparing me to Himothy, okay? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, don't fucking understand how LeBron is capable of playing at the competitive level that he's playing at for 21 fucking years straight. You're out of your goddamn mind. I swear, the moment Hasanabi talks about his hoop game, this Twitch chat instantly becomes 800% more athletic. Yeah. Osama Nash talks to Bernie about ceasefire. Kamala lead widens. Americans broadly want weapons halt on Israel. Trump tries TikTok at Arlington Cemetery. Twitter calls NPR story fake. First CNN interview with Harris Walls and Wukong in between. Get in now. Okay, twitch.tv/Hasanabi. Okay. Keizo can dunk. Stop making excuses, buddy. There is 0% chance Keizo can dunk. If he did, Yellowstone would erupt. Okay. Are you out of your fucking mind? Like, that is the most insane thing I've ever heard. Okay. That's crazy. People will just say anything when it's a content creator that they like. You know what I mean? People, yeah, he's dunking Oreos in a fucking glass of milk, maybe. That's what he's dunking. Fuck you mean, dude? You are definitely getting banned. Wait, what? Why? Bro, I'm an Israeli activist. I might have a chance to talk to a higher up at the Kojat, the IDF aid department. What should I ask? I will record audio secretly. Bro, don't fucking reveal that shit in here. You're gonna get got. But shit, I wish Time Without an Ovo was here. He would have a really good answer for you. Let me think. Hooping is how you get popular on BDBD. New Crash Dummies clip.
You think is wrong or right with your country?
You know.
Oh, this one was amazing. Yeah, I did the Crash Dummies podcast. It was fire.
As a Jamaican, you can eat pussy.
Is that right or wrong with your country?
So because in Jamaica it's wrong.
Oh, so in like the Jamaican culture, the sexual culture, you guys don't do oral sex on women.
Yeah, we don't do it.
You don't live in Jamaica currently, do you?
Back and forth.
So when you come to America, do you eat pussy then?
Just only recently.
How was it?
She liked it.
Wait, you didn't answer? I'm thinking. I'm gonna give you an answer for Kojat in a little bit. Okay, hold on.
So I guess I liked it too.
Have you thought about bringing it back to Jamaica? Like the eating pussy thing?
This man talking about he's like bringing spices back to him.
Yeah.
The great vagina trade.
Yeah, I did it to my girlfriend back home.
The timeline's not making sense. You got a girlfriend, but
no, he was training. He was training for his girlfriend.
He was trying to make himself right for his girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
No, I'm joking. She wasn't like asking like, where'd you learn to do this?
She did ask. I was like, I just want to experiment with you. So yeah.
So you lied to her.
Bend the truth.
That was so good. Bend the truth was so fucking. It's such a bar. All right, bro.
What do you think?
It was bar, absolute bar. Bend the truth. That guy who knew who you were was also a funny call. Yeah, it was awfully suspicious that the only dude from their community that knew who I was, when asked about what's right or wrong in your country, his answer was white people. The one guy that like knew who I was literally the guy that they called in who was like anti-white unconditionally. I'm never beating the allegations, dude. Anti-white racism allegations. As a Caribbean American from New York, I know like 6 motherfuckers like this. It was amazing. The anti-Semite, anti-Indian one was the funniest. Oh yeah, that was hilarious too. That was fucking hilarious. The dude who was like, yeah, they're getting Everyone but black people is getting money. Yeah, there's really good. There were really good combos on there. Anyway, I highly recommend the episode. Like I said, it was like, honestly, it was one of the probably the podcast that I've laughed the most. Like as far as like appearances goes, yeah, he went, that's why everybody named Patel. Yeah. I'll just say it like this. In terms of podcasts, like I obviously do a lot of these things, right? I do a lot of these collabs. This was the collab that I laughed the most on, like unconditionally. I just did not stop laughing. Speaking of anti-Semitism, you'll never believe what I saw on Twitter. It's literally brand new invented levels of anti-Semitism. Kaya, place, you already know better. You know better, baby girl. What the fuck is this? What is this? The world owes this man an apology. 18,000 likes. I would love to know the truth. Was he a puppet of the Jews all along? Maybe it seems feasible. No, that is fake Jewish propaganda. He was literally funded by Swiss banks, the same banks that are financed by Jews. Dude, when you're such a Nazi that you're saying Adolf Hitler was compromised, that's fucking awesome. Like, that's, who's your guy then? Like, who's your guy then at that point? Wow. Wow. He's like the guy. That's your GOAT, dude. What do you mean? Like, how can you be better at being a Nazi than Adolf Hitler, dude? That's crazy. I can't believe the Nazis have their own version of the left comms. Yeah, no, literally. Oh my God. Oh my God. My son showed me a video about leadership and it definitely put the DNC's hard right turn into perspective for me. I think the kids will find this very educational. I'm not watching a CGP Grey video. The notoriously anti-react and also hates when people watch his videos. So I'm not going to do that. Saw this TikTok, no words needed. Oh, this is a pretty powerful TikTok. It's a good TikTok. I mean, a very different vibe than what we were looking at currently, though. We were just cracking some jokes, dude. Some of you motherfuckers always have to do this, okay? Some of you motherfuckers always have to immediately be like, hey, listen, I know we're laughing right now, but let's talk about the ongoing genocide. It's like, bro, come on. We'll dive into it, man. We're going to dive into it, okay? Calm down. You've programmed me. I reflexively told someone place when they're being raucous and wild. They have brain worms. You were right. It's a mental illness. Oh my God. They're transvestigating Hitler. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Oh, this is so sweet, dude. This is incredible. Like, these guys have, oh, this is funny, dude. This is fucking awesome. These guys are literally just, they've run the table. They have arrived at like a need for a super Hitler. Okay. They're like, no, dude, we already got Hitler. Okay. It's time for a new Hitler, an Omega Hitler. Okay. I mean, this is kind of like when when fucking Jackson Hinkledink was talking to Sneeko and he was like, yeah, I don't fuck with the Nazis because they were gay and trans. Yeah, the Nazis were F words, dude. They were all gay, dude. That's why I don't fuck with the Nazis. Like, bro, that's why you don't fuck with the Nazis? Like I feel like there's a bunch of other shit that you could point to, you know, before you get to that stuff. Bro, my fucking Apple iPhone is just on a different level now. It's like, oh, you can't charge now because there's water detected inside of the fucking charging station. And I had to do a emergency override. I said Apple iPhone. That is the oldest thing I've ever said. God, I'm so fucking old. Anyway, let's look at this funny TikTok that I make a weird appearance in. POV, a Trump supporter forgot to log out of his YouTube channel at a hotel. Easy. Guys, he was subscribed to Ashley Tisdale. I kept that one. Dude, honestly, that's how you do it. That's how you fucking do it. Hasanabi W influence, finally meeting the person that inspired to become a creator 2 years ago. That's how you do it, chat. That's how you change people's minds. What was your favorite food you had in Chicago? Don't ask me that question. I feel like Keith Lee the way I'm talking about Chicago food, okay? I'm about to get fucking canceled. Chicago is literally one of the best food cities, and I did not get to experience even a single fucking fraction of that. I guess the best one I had was the double burger that I had at that one random tavern that we walked into because I had to piss. Like, I didn't have time because I was at the fucking DNC, so, you know. Chicago food is trash? No, it's not. Chicago food is not trash at all. Come on, dude. It has the most Michelin star restaurants per capita on the fucking planet, dude. There is incredible shit out there, like that Filipino breakfast spot that I really wanted to go to. I wanted to go to Au Cheval. There's so many goddamn places, dude. That Filipino breakfast spot lives in my mind, okay? It occupies a permanent space in my goddamn mind. Oh, anyway. Yeah, Kasama, I think is called. Yeah. It's actually, I'm currently mad at you for not eating a Chicago dog. I did. That shit is ass, okay? I'll say it. Chicago dogs are fucking ass. What the hell is a celery salt, dude? Dude, I'm not trying to have a healthy snack, okay? Why the fuck did you take an unhealthy snack that is delectable, that is delightful, that is delicious, and then put celery salt on it like it's fucking healthy? It's got healthy taste and none of the fucking healthy calories. Anyway, Chicago dog, no, okay? New York dirty water dogs stay on top. I'll say that. That's number one. Number two, and I'm a pickle boy. Like, I love pickle. I love savory shit, okay? And I still did not fuck with the Chicago dog. That's number one. Italian beef is not as good as a Philly cheesesteak. The fuck? The fuck just happened? Something just fell. That was scary. Anyway, it's just not as good, okay? The Italian beef is not as good as a Philly cheesesteak. I'll say that too. And last but not least, deep dish pizza, not as good as regular slices. And you can get mad at me all you want, all day, every day. There's obviously like phenomenal fucking food in Chicago. But in terms of like the picks, like the city picks, it's not that good. The city is great. Love the city. I'm a fan. But overall, I think like, and there are incredible fucking places to eat in the city of Chicago. I unfortunately missed a lot of it, but this is why I don't like guys from New Jersey. Why? Because we got two good tastes. Like, what do you mean? I did get Italian beef. It's fine. It's all right. You ate tourist food? I ate like the shit that people say is like Chicago food, you know? But yeah, that's it. Emma has a new banger gym edit TikTok. Oh, I saw this morning.
I don't know
Yeah.
what you kids are up to, but I do know one thing. Laws are threats made by the dominant socioeconomic ethnic group in a
It's a
given
good
nation.
TikTok.
It's just the promise of violence that's enacted, and police are basically an occupying army. You know what I mean? You guys want to make some bacon?
I'm an advocate for working out, not because you're going to go and like kill fascists or whatever, but I'm an advocate for working out because it's good. You should do it. It'll make you feel good. Yep. This is one of the first TikToks I saw today. Yeah. And I commented, I'll own it. Just walk 5 miles because of you, actually. Hell yeah. All right. You have to have Brennan Lee Mulligan on the pod and stream. He's an amazing dude. It's annoying, dude. He just keeps telling me emergency over. I keep having to emergency override to fucking charge my phone. Sir, I have a fitness question. What did you do to prevent injuries when you went from not working out to back at it, particularly hip flexors and such? Oh my God. There's so many different workouts you got to do. Like stretch a lot. There's also a lot of like there's also a lot of movements that you need to do in terms of like you have to identify what muscles what part of your body doesn't have enough muscle mass, because everything works together. And oftentimes injuries happen as a direct consequence of one, not adequately stretching, and two, doing a weight that your like major muscle group is capable of lifting, but there might be some other muscle groups that you're using to stabilize when you're doing the exercise that are unfortunately too weak. For example, my serratus is too weak. I had to constantly do, like, still to this day, I have to do active warm-ups to activate certain muscle groups when I'm doing like upper body push day. Okay. That muscular imbalance is what causes many people to injure themselves. Okay. That's something that you got to consider. We have to work against that. Is that a Korean War vet hat behind you? My grandpa served as a medic. That's why I asked. Yeah, I served too. Do you pause on exercise on the Apple Watch when you're setting up the weight or not? No, dude. Can you rate their form? It's just Will dancing. Okay. Come on. Let's get to the fucking news. What are we doing? I can't believe I'm saying this. There's a Georgia rally upcoming with VP Kamala Harris, okay? Scheduled at 2:30 p.m. Trump is also holding a rally, or rather a campaign town hall in La Crosse, Wisconsin. That is at 4 p.m. Pacific. But before that, let's get started. Harris and Walz are returning to the campaign trail. What's going on there? Polls are actually showing that the Harris momentum is growing. There is a post-DNC bump, and you can see it now. Here's a Quinnipiac national poll showing Kamala Harris at 49% to Donald Trump's 48%. In their full release, Kamala Harris is up 2 in a multi-candidate field with RFK on the ticket, up 1 in a 2-way. Okay, so we are going to be we're going to be paying some close attention to all that good stuff. Okay. Anyway, what will they learn from this? On that new Quinnipiac poll, 49% say Trump would handle the Gaza war better than Harris. Of course they are. You want to know why? Do you want to know why they say that? Because Trump keeps saying, I'm a fucking peace candidate. Okay. I'm a peace candidate. And people keep hearing that he's a peace candidate. People keep hearing the point that he keeps reiterating over and over and over again, where he says no new wars under my administration, which is obviously a fucking lie, but it doesn't matter. Okay. No new wars under my administration, and is obviously a fucking lie, but it doesn't matter. People literally remember that. And then they look at like Ukraine and they attribute that to Biden. They look at Gaza, they attribute that to Biden. Kamala Harris has an opportunity to separate herself from the Biden ticket on this issue. Okay. Are Americans low-key stupid? Americans are high-key stupid. They are high-key stupid, not low-key stupid. They're stupid as fuck. Harris's message wasn't working. Yeah, I saw this. Harris kept most of Biden's team in place, but the main architect of the Biden campaign messaging strategy, Mike Donilon, has fucking finally left and returned to the White House. So we shall see if this changes the pace at all. Okay? But you have to understand something. We're going to be looking at that Quinnipiac poll a bunch. Okay? Why wouldn't they hear Trump say that he wants Israel to finish the job? Because, and this is very important for a lot of people to understand, if you have some level of charisma, people literally make up what the fucking policies are in terms of what their personal opinion is. And this especially works when you are not the fucking current president. So you are not currently responsible for the onslaught. So some people look at Trump and think in their minds that he's going to be much better than Kamala Harris and Joe Biden on Gaza. Some and better in terms of like he's going to stop the fucking fighting. Okay. Some people look at it and they think, oh, he's going to go extra hard. And then they're going to end up, he's going to give Israel all the tools that Israel needs to finish the job. And then the fighting is going to stop. Okay. This is a pretty normal part of politics. A lot of Americans, especially in the Republican Party, a lot of people that vote for Republicans don't actually associate the real negative consequences of the legislation that they're signing on for. This is a well-documented phenomena, okay? You need to understand this. This is something that plagues American politics, and it's something that plagues politics in general. People genuinely think, oh, I'm voting for this guy because this, right? They don't really think what the policies are going to end up. They don't really consider how those policies are going to end up harming themselves. A great example of this is obviously on the issue of abortion. There are plenty of Republicans that voted for the Republican Party. They didn't really care about abortion rights being restricted. And now they're like, oh my God, this is actually devastating. What the fuck? Because all of a sudden, there's no way you can message out of it. Everybody now knows you are responsible for all of the women in places like Texas, in places like Ohio, that can't get fucking ectopic pregnancies dealt with. The medical procedure is an abortion. And now they're in a panic state because Republicans shut that access off. They are responsible for it. They have to fucking live with that reality. Do you understand? Yeah, Missouri Amendment 3, enshrine a right to an abortion. Yes, no, 34%. yes, 52%. President Donald Trump, 54%. Kamala Harris, 41%. Okay? Josh Hawley, 53%. Lucas Kunce, 42%. So you need to understand something, okay? You need to understand something. Americans do not make smart choices when they are voting. Part of that reason is because neither party truly represents their best interests, so politics just gets divvied out to team sports. A lot of people think, oh, I'm voting on harm reduction on the Democratic Party side, but ultimately they're just voting on team sports. Harm reduction is just a layer of moralizing that you are tacking on to why you're making the decision that you're making. So in a way, it's both the dumbest people that don't vote, and it's also somewhat the smartest people that don't end up voting, even if they recognize why they're not voting, or why, even if they recognize it or not, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, like, I wish more people would get activated to go out and vote, but the reality of the matter is, until either fucking side, and this is specifically the Democrats I'm talking about here, okay, until the Democrats actually actively communicate to broad majorities of the public that if voting for the Democrats will actually genuinely improve their lives, improve their material conditions in a meaningful way, and that the Democrats are actually on board with genuinely improving their lives in a meaningful way. Easy to communicate, easy to understand, responsive policies, right? Until that happens, most people are not going to fucking go out and vote. Okay? IDF reservist mental health officer ousted from role after social media comments. How do you have so many viewers while having so many L takes? What's your secret? I'm hot. That's what it is. Yeah. It's just like, I think my secret is what you consider to be an L take. 3 months down the line, you will consider to be a W take that you thought about all along, except right now you're resistant and hostile to it. But when it does become the reality, okay, because oftentimes I am right simply too early, okay? There are times when I'm wrong, of course. I'm a human being after all. But oftentimes I'm right. I'm just too early to the fucking game. And most people are inherently hostile to change, inherently hostile to and resist any sort of like change in communication. So they just operate on fucking vibes. And then 12 months later, suddenly hate you and splinter off into a hater community. Of course. Yeah. I suspect this is already a person there. You know? Good response. I mean, you're pro-Palestine, it seems. So I don't know why you're fucking what you're considering to be an L take here. And you're anti-smoking, as am I. So I don't know what's going on here. All right, but let's get back to it. Trump is a dream for the status quo. Every push to make the liberal pass common good policies turned down by if you don't vote for us, vote for him. It's the same in France as 2012. Yeah. Do you think voting because of harm reduction is bad? I don't think voting because of harm reduction is bad. I do think, however, that most people don't vote on that basis, and the Democrats don't do enough to actually engage in harm reduction. The harm that they're reducing gets smaller and smaller every election cycle. And that is partially because harm reduction is the only fucking advocacy that they engage in within their own base. And that's really fucking stupid, because you're just missing a massive, massive amount of people that you could be activating, bringing out to the fucking polls. You know? I mean, I don't think that's true with respect to labor or trans LGBT rights. Yeah, again, notice how you're not saying that about immigrants right now, because the Democrats have dropped that from their policies, right? So like last election cycle, you would say that, you would say trans and LGBT rights, and then you would also say immigrants, right? Like Republicans are doing horribly poor things with immigrants, like Democrats will protect immigrants. Notice how you don't say that anymore, because they shut that communication off, because they themselves are now pushing for a right-wing immigration bill. So every election cycle, they just like pick and choose another thing that they are going to capitulate to the right on. And I personally find that to be unconscionable. I personally find that to be immoral. And I also personally find that to be disastrous. Notice how you're not also saying, well, what about Muslims, right? Yeah. What about Muslims? Because that was another good one that you could use if you only cared about harm reduction, right? Oh, Trump will be so much worse on Muslims. Trump will be so much worse on immigrants. Okay, but that doesn't mean that this gives you an opportunity to be fucking harmful yourself, right? So that's it. There is obviously issues where the Democrats are genuinely better than the Republicans on. That's abortion and protecting abortion, protecting the medical decisions that people make. And that's a huge issue. Problem is, you know, when you got Trump at the top of that ticket, it seems to me like even, I mean, obviously in a place like Missouri, people are still voting for abortion, but also simultaneously voting for Donald Trump. Okay. Chomsky made a good point about voting, and that's something you just do, and then you get back to the real work of organizing and growing a movement. Yeah, it's the voting is still the least consequential, most significant thing you can do, for sure. And I understand the argument that Chomsky is making, even though he is 850 years old. He was there when democracy was invented. He knows a thing or two about that sort of thing, right? However, having said that, a lot of people don't operate on that basis. This is what I'm simply stating. It's like harm reduction over and over again is not going to carry you across the finish line, okay? Harm reduction didn't carry the Democrats across the finish line because you can't out-compete. You can't out-harm reduction argument your way out of a bad candidate or a bad campaign. Hillary Clinton demonstrated that reality, right? So that's precisely the reason why I always say, like, you know, you can say harm reduction all day, every day. This is not one of those communities where that shit's going to fly in general, because I'm analyzing the actual policies and the impact that those policies have on people's lives. I think that the Democratic Party should drop that as well. They dropped the identity politics stuff, and I really do hope that they'll drop this shit eventually as well, because it would be a significantly better way to argue, a significantly better mechanism to draw out more support, more popular support, get more people to vote for you in states where people have completely lost confidence in you, the Democratic Party, if you were to actually advocate for direct policies that help people's lives, okay? The direct policies that help people improve their material conditions. That's what politics is. What are you going to give me at the end of the day is a real simple question that people must ask. And the Democratic Party's response can't simply be, well, we're better than the Republicans, marginally better than the Republicans. You know what I mean? It's just not, it's not going to work. And it doesn't work. Demonstrably, it doesn't work. I don't know the reason why they do this, but Harris is gaining on all the good polls. And then there are right-wing pollsters deciding to fuck the averages, Lamau. And then Emerson with a random grenade. Yeah, the thing is, Kamala Harris gaining on all of these good polls simply does not carry her across the finish line. If you recall, these are still within the margin of error. That's number one. It just simply shows that momentum is on her, is favoring her at this time. None of these polls actually show that Kamala Harris is definitely winning tomorrow. Okay? This is something that you have to remember. Now, obviously, post-convention bumps don't necessarily immediately lock you in. If that was the case, Dukakis would have been president. You know what I mean? Like, I think he got like a 12-point bump after the convention. Obviously, it didn't fucking matter. So, even with all of that, even with all of the, like, I mean all that much in terms of like what things may look like come November. Okay. I am a poll believer, as in like, I do look at polls. I look at and analyze polls on a regular basis come when the election cycle comes around. But having said that, no, it's not the end all be all. There are examples where people are doing well post convention, get a big bump after convention, and they end up losing. There are examples where obviously you don't see a massive bump post the convention and you end up winning. So why do you think so many down ballot Democrats are polling so much better than Harris in the presidential race? Is that the down ballot Republicans are just worse? In some instances, that is the answer. There's a lot of untested or genuine failures on the Republican side. Untested in the sense that like they have no fucking long-term tenure that you can point to, like Carrie Lake, who is a fucking freak and a weirdo, and like she's gonna get absolutely destroyed in Arizona. You have that guy, the troop that was exploded in Nevada, for example, who's not even from Nevada, but he's like running. Like you have a lot of people on the Republican side that are untested, that don't have any sort of like policy that they can point to, or don't have any tenure that they can point to. They don't really have like a built-in infrastructure for canvassing, and they're just fucking running, and Trump likes them because they're freaks, right? And that is actually part of the reason why in some of these races, the down ballot races are actually performing better than the top of the ticket. Having said that, however, okay, the other reason is, in my opinion, the other reason is because the Kamala Harris campaign is not doing a decent enough job separating themselves from the Joe Biden campaign. They have done that with like pricing, right? They've done that with grocery prices, but they haven't done a clean break on a lot of other stuff, including but not limited to Gaza. Okay. There are still a lot of things that are unpopular with the Biden administration that the Harris ticket has not actually communicated their way out of. I personally suspect the immigration part of the equation is also a big deal. But of course, polling doesn't show that. Well, it's because it's an untested narrative, because the Republicans have never counter-messaged or even tried to drop it. Now, of course, that is an issue. They have not tried it, and it might be too fucking late by the time they finally come to their senses. Okay? When they finally come to their senses and decide, like, maybe we shouldn't be running in this, like, fucking super right-wing immigration policy shit, it's probably going to be far too late. So we'll see. Okay? Nate Silver has an interesting take. Latest Nate Silver forecast: Trump's chances of winning are up +5 electoral votes, with Harris is at 272, Trump 266. What? Who is favored to win the presidency? Chance each candidate has of winning the electoral college or the popular vote in 2024 presidential election, and our best predictions on the outcome based on 40,000 simulations of our model. Harris's electoral college victory probability is at 47.3%. Trump is at 52.4%. But the popular vote probability, Harris is at 63.8%. The predicted electoral college, the predicted electoral votes that she arrives at is 272. The predicted popular vote share is at 50.3%. Wait, I don't understand how this works though. Check his PA analysis. It's in one of your tabs. Yeah, I want to see what Pennsylvania looks like, because this race is going to come down to chance of winning is based on Nate Silver's model. Predicted electoral votes is based on just polls. His model thinks Kamala should have had a much larger lead in PA than polls are showing. It's cooking her in his model. Yeah, I think this race is going to obviously come back. This race is going to come down to Pennsylvania. And obviously Trump knows that. They're playing defense in places like North Carolina. They're pumping a little bit in places like Georgia. But ultimately, I think it's just, Pennsylvania is the major part of this problem. And she's showing another problem. It's been a while since we've seen a poll showing Harris leading in Pennsylvania. A high-quality poll showing Harris ahead in PA would make a big difference right now. Weird update today. Harris ticked up slightly in our national polling average, but lost ground in our forecast and is now less than 50% against Donald Trump. One reason is that the model's convention balance adjustment, which affects the forecast, but not the average. There's a large population of Arabs and Muslims in PA. The Gaza genocide could lose it. 170,000 registered Muslim voters. Kamala Harris needs every fucking vote she can possibly pick up. And what I find very frustrating about this, beyond the fact that every time I say at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break, you guys fucking perk up, and it annoys me and it like fucks up my flow, even though there is a 3-minute ad break at the top of the hour. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. When you get one free Prime subscription a month, you can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. What's really endlessly frustrating about this, what's endlessly frustrating about the Kamala Harris campaign strategy so far is that there are votes waiting to be picked up. There are votes waiting to be picked up. There is momentum that they can add to the Vibes campaign. However, areas that they are going after, where they're going after, the people that they're trying to win over to their side are unimaginably stupid. One example I will give you is this. Okay, I saw this earlier today. Let me see if I can fucking find it. Okay, let's see. There's one thing I wanted to show you. Where the fuck is it? Hold on. Where the fuck is it? God damn it. Oh, here. This is the what I wanted to show you. Looks like some marginal voters don't have to try very hard to get meetings, huh? Says Edinger Mentham. Here it is. Haley Voters Working Group. Thank you to the Harris campaign for joining our group for the 3rd time tonight. We've appreciated your engagement and the time you've shared with us, respectfully discussing how to win over Haley voters on the fence. I am losing my fucking mind. What are you doing? What are you doing? There are hundreds of thousands of people in every single state that you are currently either barely defeating Donald Trump on or losing to Donald Trump on, depending on which poll you're looking at. And they are straight up going after a group of like 50 fucking voters of a candidate who has endorsed Donald Trump. Please stop doing this. What the fuck are you doing? Are you fucking insane? What are you doing? Who's running the fucking show? Monkeys that are just like fucking hitting cymbals? Is that what's going on? Just a bunch of fucking animals up there just playing with fucking dials? Who's doing this? Who's doing this? What the fuck? I'm losing my fucking mind, dude. Holy shit. And it's additionally strange because, and I will keep repeating this over and over and over again, the original momentum that happened from Biden losing the election to Donald Trump to Kamala Harris having a chance of defeating Donald Trump, that only happened because they did progressive shit. Okay? They responded to public pressure, and lo and behold, people like that sort of thing. Okay? Making it seem as though you have a commitment to the democratic process, turns out, makes people feel pretty enthusiastic. Okay? What the fuck are we doing here? This is old school, dumbass, I want to lose bullshit. Kaya Place, you know better. You're looking back at me right now, thinking you did some shit. Okay, good girl. The only reason they're doing this is because the coalition will hold once the genocide in Gaza gets worse, and two, we go to war with Iran and China. I guarantee it. Democrats care more about genocide and capitalism than winning elections. Nothing new here. No, dude, that's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Also, I'm talking to the fucking voters here. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, how do you end up doing something? How do you end up making decisions that actually are bangers? Okay. And you immediately get this big boost. You get this response. So many people doubt your ability to finally fucking like take this bold step forward and actually get like noticeable and immediate changes in the way that people fucking view the campaign. And then you just go, okay, we're done. We did enough. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. This does not mean that the Kamala Harris campaign is going to fucking lose, okay? I'm not saying that at all. They are doing very well so far, okay? They're doing very well so far. But that can fucking change, okay? While they have the foot on the gas, they should be pumping it even harder instead of trying to desperately cut away at this momentum. Walls is outstanding, best VP pick of my life. I know. That's why I don't get it. I don't get it. Why the fuck did you do that? If they had went with Josh Shapiro, okay, I'd be like, this is classic Democratic Party shit, you know? Classic. They went with what they perceive as the safe choice, even though it's not a safe choice, but what they perceive was like the calculated safe choice, okay? Somewhat conservative governor in a key state that they have to win. It's a must-win state. And they didn't do that. They didn't fucking do that. They went with Walz, which locked them into at least messaging around progressive policies. So I don't understand why the fuck they're like not continuing along with that, like with that agenda. Haas, what don't you get? Dems want to win, but in a certain way because they run by their donors. It's fine. Okay. Modeling your election strategy off of likely Republican voters is insane to me. Okay. If Kamala loses, her followers will 100% blame Arabs and Muslims. They'll take off the mask and start saying the most racist, dehumanizing shit you've ever heard. I can already feel it. I mean, they're already saying that. They didn't pick the guy for VP who was massively popular in Pennsylvania. Yeah, dude, you're right. You're right, dude. Massively popular in Pennsylvania. Like, he's popular, dude. I wouldn't go as far as to say he's massively popular. He ran against a fucking freak. Hassan really thinks everybody's obsessed with Gaza. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm losing my fucking mind. Please. This is not what I'm saying at all. You guys are so fucking annoying because you don't care about it. Okay. I care about it, But that's not the argument that I'm making. There are people who care that would be on board with the ticket. But that's not the only thing that I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about like moderating your messaging on the issue of dealing with the economy. You know what I mean? I wasn't even fucking talking about Gaza in this situation. You're the one who brought it up because liberals are fucking gross, okay? Just such little freak bitches who just desperately want to fucking lose. And in that stupid fucking death spiral, they want to point their fingers at like other people. Oh, it must be the Muslims. It must be Gaza. Shut the fuck up, dumbass. That's not what I'm talking about, okay? That strategy worked so well for the Dems last election cycle that Trump gained 20 million votes. Yeah, I'm like, I'll literally be talking about fucking healthcare. I'll be talking about like genuinely actively communicating policy prescriptions to people's like people's problems that they perceive in their day-to-day lives, and like running a campaign on issues like that, okay? Not like a boring, annoying, nerdy Elizabeth Warren style campaign, but like a closer to a Bernie, like a populist campaign where you're like, people are suffering, we're gonna solve it, okay? We're gonna put more fucking bread on your table. We're gonna make sure that it's easier for you to have a roof over your fucking head. We're gonna solve these issues, okay? If they did that, people would respond to it. People would respond positively to it. And it's crazy to me that like there's Democrats in here who turn around and go, oh, well, actually, you think everybody cares about Gaza. First of all, why are you openly admitting that like Americans are selfish, bloodthirsty fucking losers when there's a goddamn genocide happening and they don't give a fuck? Secondly, you're objectively incorrect. Obviously, it's not the most salient issue for a lot of Americans, but plenty of Americans, like broad majorities of Americans, want to fucking stop the fighting in Gaza, okay? So shut the fuck up. You're objectively wrong on every aspect of this conversation. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand why you can be so wrong and so confident in how fucking wrong you are. Ain't nobody's here saying like, oh, the number one thing that Americans care about is like the ongoing genocide in Gaza. I never said that. I don't believe that. Okay? Because that is objectively not true. But according to the CBS poll, 61% of Americans oppose weapons aid to Israel's assault in Gaza. 77% of Democrats and 63% of self-identifying moderates reject U.S. weapons aid to Israel. 77% of the under 30 demographic oppose weapons aid to Israel. 75% of Black Americans, 66% of women, 56% of white college graduates. This is not like, this is just an easy gimme, okay? It's just waiting right there. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of voters across multiple fucking states, especially when you are in margins of barely fucking getting a victory in a lot of these key states that you have to get. When you say every vote counts and then you fucking turn around and go, but not those votes, well, then every vote doesn't count. That's an easy dub. It's sitting right there. Fuck me, dude. It's just right there, dude. It is right there, okay? It is right there. Easiest dub of my life, okay? Easiest W of anyone's lives is just standing right there. It's like marijuana decriminalization or legalization at the federal level. It's a thing that the Democrats could just do tomorrow and people would be on board with it, okay? It's one of those things. It's like, it's just there. And they never hit that button, ever. I don't know why they're so scared of hitting that button. I don't know what the fuck the problem is. I genuinely don't understand it. It's like a free vote situation. Okay? This doesn't mean that it's like the number one issue. Like, out of all of these people that are polled, they're not saying they're not going to vote for Kamala Harris if she doesn't get this done. Okay? Nobody is saying that. But having said that, there are Kamala Harris, the closer she is associated to Biden on this issue on Gaza, the worse she is going to poll on this issue, the worse she's going to hemorrhage votes. Biden and Kamala Harris right now are seen as objectively unpopular on Israel. Objectively. How would you understand how interlinked? How do you understand how interlinked we are with Israel and now understand why Kamala won't break away from Biden on this law? Shut the fuck up, liberal. How do you understand how interlinked we are with Israel and why Kamala won't break away from Biden on this? It doesn't change my opinion on the matter. She has to do this, okay? What do you mean? She has to do this, and I'm going to keep repeating why it's a good idea to do this, and hopefully someone will fucking listen, all right? I don't know why you just basically what you're doing in this situation is like, I would rather be cynical and right, okay? And just, you know, not even talk about all of the major reasons for plenty of fucking liberals that are even in this community that might have not heard the electoral calculation that I am presenting to them, okay? That is the reason why I don't talk about this from a morality standpoint when talking about Israel in terms of why the campaign should move in this direction. I talk about it as a bloodless, sociopathic electoral calculation. Why do I do that? Because there are plenty of liberals who are very afraid of Donald Trump winning the election, but they don't give a fucking single shred of a shit about Gaza. Okay? That's it. That's the reason why I'm doing this. Chatters, we're doing electoral politics. I don't know why some leftist chatters act so smug. Exactly. I've said this since early October. Okay? There's an electoral analysis here that favors removing the unshakable bond we have with Israel. There is a State Department continuation of your like American hegemonic superpower status argument to make. There's a pro-CIA, pro-State Department argument to make in terms of like reanalyzing our relationship with Israel. Okay. There is a pro-Israel's continuation of the apartheid argument that I could make if need be. Like I could make a liberal Zionist argument. It literally does not make sense. That is why I'm saying it is pure zealotry and fear. That is the only reason. It is pure ideological zealotry and fucking fear. Fear of the unknown that is stopping. It's not like some secret thing that they're aware of that you don't know about, okay? It's not like the Mossad blackmail operation. All of a sudden, we're going to see Joe Biden's like dick pics leak because he like made the right decision or whatever. Like, no, it's not any of those things. Sometimes the truth is that simple. Ideological zealotry and fear. That's it. Ugh. As a reminder, chat, AIPAC is not unbeatable and is not so powerful as they want you to believe they are. Exactly. They've dumped 100 million so far. Okay. I mean, I would take a peek. Yeah, we're not going to see Joe Biden's meat anytime soon, but you already know it's big, okay? Hunter Biden's cock is relatively large. His brother's penis is relatively large. He probably has a fat one. Let's be real, okay? Another fucking big hog having president who had to drop out because of his unpopular war. LBJ was the other one. All right. Anyway, having said all of that, let's get to Harrison Walz returning on the campaign trail.
For the White House, Vice President Kamala Harris and Tim Walz hitting the road in the battleground state of Georgia for a second day as Donald Trump gets ready to blitz critical swing states. Our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, is on the trail in Savannah, Georgia. Mary, good morning.
Hey, Wick, good morning. Well, the Harris campaign sees real opportunity here in Georgia. They are hoping to expand the map, put this key state firmly back in play, now with less than 70 days to go. This morning, Kamala Harris is gaining ground in the critical Sun Belt states. Harris and running mate Tim Walz boarding their campaign bus in Georgia, a state where Donald Trump has been leading. But this morning, a new Fox News poll shows Harris now up by 2 points. That poll also suggesting she's closing the gap in Arizona, Nevada, and North Carolina.
Remember, all of these are within a margin of error, okay? All of these polls are within a margin of error. I'm not just saying this because, like, I want to fucking be a naysayer. I want to make you, like, not feel excited. Everyone is doing brass summer. Everyone's lived the fuck up. Like, this is not, it's good. This is promising if you are a Kamala, if you're a Mamala fan, okay? If you're riding with Mamala, it's promising. Don't say remember 2016. It does not. No, we're not talking about 2016 here, okay? I'm not saying these polls are cucked in the same way that the 2016 polls were. That's not the argument here. The argument here is that they are still within a margin of error, and therefore, this does not spell a broad victory in the way that you think it does, especially when you factor in Pennsylvania. Okay? Remember that. Remember that when you look at these numbers, okay? Yeah, margin of error is plus minus 3.
In battleground Georgia, a state President Biden won narrowly in 2020, Harris and Walz reaching out to rural voters, hoping for a repeat victory. In Hinesville, greeted by the Liberty County High School Marching Band.
My previous job to this was, of course, public school teacher and coach, which I wear with pride.
Walz leaning into his own rural roots in Minnesota. His experience as a social studies teacher and former high school football coach now central to their campaign message. The ticket then stopping for barbecue in Savannah, out shaking hands and snapping selfies. Harris well aware she can't just rely on those urban centers like Atlanta in a race expected to be so close. Trump also hitting key states, targeting the Rust Belt. Today in Michigan and Wisconsin.
I mean, yeah, this is a good way to look at it as well, for sure. Individual national polls. Love people reacting to the polls when you can just look at this holistic picture instead, courtesy of Vote Hub. That shows A/B rated pollsters only. Okay. National polls, not a measure you're looking for, then look at state polling instead. Battleground state polling averages. It's still within the margin. Okay. It's still within the margin. And it's promising for Kamala Harris's campaign, but you have to understand it is absolutely still within the margin of victory or defeat.
Before heading to must-win Pennsylvania.
Just because of the way votes total, most past the 270 involve PA. To win without PA, you would have to win most of the rest of the swing states. Yeah, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, and Georgia. Doing that and losing PA is pretty unlikely. Yeah, there is no pathway to victory where you win Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, and Georgia, and then fucking lose Pennsylvania. That'd be insane.
Out here,
like you would have to run such a good campaign in all of those other places, but such a bad one in Pennsylvania. I don't know how the fuck that would happen. All is going to be the Selena Meyer election.
Here in Georgia today, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will sit down together for their first big interview of this campaign. They have been facing criticism for not doing a formal press conference or an in-depth interview. And then looking ahead to the coming days, Harris is expected to be spending a fair amount of time in debate prep. Of course, her first face-off with Donald Trump coming up right here on ABC on September 10th, with just 12 days away.
That will be a pivotal moment. And Mary, while we have you, tell us about this criticism Trump is facing about a recent visit to Arlington National Cemetery. His team accused of recording video in a prohibited area. Veteran families now reacting to this?
Yeah, so this video shows the president visiting some of the grave sites of some of the 13 service members who were killed in that attack on Abbey Gate in Afghanistan. Trump trying to highlight Harris and this administration's handling of that chaotic troop withdrawal. But filming in this area of the cemetery is prohibited just for this reason, to not politicize the military.
This is such a funny thing that he did. He is such a clout-hungry social media demon, dude. I'm not gonna lie. This is my favorite Trump story of this election cycle so far. At first, I didn't cover it because I was like, who gives a shit? And then I read into the details, and it is hilarious, okay? He went to the fucking Arlington National Cemetery. That's where all the fucking veterans are. That's where all the soldiers are. And he did that so he could cut content where he's like, Biden is so bad, he killed 13 of our best veterans. Kamala Harris killed 13 of our best veterans, okay? And he went there with the Gold Star family of like one of the parents of like one of the dead vets, right? And of course, there are like major reasons as to why you're not supposed to be doing this, because apparently, you just can't do that. You can't do a photo op at the Arlington Cemetery. You can't do a campaign op at a cemetery in general. Okay? But I love that the people that work at the cemetery were like, you can't do that. And he was like, nah, it's fine.
Now, some families like that of Staff Sergeant Ryan Knauss say they give Trump permission. They say it's sad to restrict how the fallen are honored. But overnight, we heard from another Gold Star family, the sister of Sergeant Andrew Marcassano, who died by suicide in 2020 after 8 tours of combat. His grave is also shown.
Yeah, one of the graves that was shown in the fucking TikTok is the dude who killed himself. Breaking, the U.S. Army has new statement out at the incident at Arlington and real Donald Trump. Of note, they confirmed that the parties were told of the laws against political activity and that an employee was pushed aside and filing charges were on the table. Oh my God. This is worse than when Scrub Daddy Girl on TikTok went to Mexico and scrubbed all those headstones for content. That's what I'm saying. This is my favorite genre of like insane TikToker nonsense. Like Trump is doing scrub daddy girl shit. Like it's phenomenal. We're gonna do it. I'll show you the U.S. Army rebukes Trump campaign for incident at National Cemetery. He's a TikTok girly, dude. He's a TikTok girly. Let him thrive. Y'all are fucking, everyone's against him, even the Army, okay? Trump's gonna come out and be like, fuck the Army. And all the vets are gonna be like, hell yeah, brother. You're right. I hate the Army. It's gay now and woke. Oh, it's so sick. It's so fucking sick. Okay. It's dope. I'm fully on board with this. Okay. I'm fully on board with this. It's the John McCain controversy all over again. To be fair, a lot of vets hate the U.S. Army. Yeah, no, it's awesome. I first of all, as you guys know, I don't give a fuck about like how this is sacrilege. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. I don't care that it's like I don't care that it's like considered sacrilege to like do this sort of thing. Okay, I don't. But a lot of people certainly will be in their feelings about it. But it is funny as fuck in general that Trump did this. The worst part about it is that, like, yeah, he was, you know, his staff were being rude and annoying to the fucking people that work at the cemetery. That's bullshit. Reposting. Oh, they're doing it already. Reposting to trigger the hacks at the Army. OP political strategist, combat wounded Marine, Pittsburgh native Chris LaCivita. Fuck the Army, baby. Fuck you guys. It doesn't matter. None of this shit matters, okay? Republicans own patriotism. The primary reason for rules about filming is to preserve the idea that the military is politically neutral. They're doing a big crackdown against, again, on that, at least. That's what my cousin told me. Yeah, my cousin. Yeah. I get it. I get why those rules exist, okay? It's just funny. And no, it doesn't fucking factor. Like Greg Stoker posting Biden doing the same thing does not obviously factor in a similar capacity, considering that he was a fucking vice president on more, considering that he was a vice president and not like actively campaigning or some shit. Okay? This doesn't mean you can't literally take pictures at the fucking cemetery, dog, as a person. Like Trump has also been pictured at Arlington before when he was president. The difference is during an election cycle, when you're actively trying to cut campaigning footage at the Arlington cemetery, then it becomes a political problem. Bro made a TikTok. Now, I still, again, don't care necessarily, but for all of the context enjoyers and for all of the, everybody does this shit. Okay. Just, something to consider that it's not the exact same equation at all. Speaking of cousin, my 4-year-old saw me watching you and now she calls you that boy and your cousin. Some really good news out of the Biden admin, and I hope that Kamala Harris is shouting this during her campaign stops. We don't give a fuck, but a lot of people do, and this makes it bad for Trump. No, they won't. It'll be the old, it didn't happen, and if it did happen, it wasn't that bad, and if it was bad, the other side has done worse, and if not, then free speech. Not a fan of context, to be honest. No, I'm just showing you, like, Biden has been pictured the fucking cemetery, so is Donald Trump. The difference is, like, it wasn't a fucking campaign material that they were cutting. That's the major difference. It doesn't mean that, like, you can't fucking film a president or a vice president ever at the Arlington cemetery. Of course, every goddamn elected representative has had that moment in the past. All right. Love this story, though.
In this Trump video, and she says, quote, "We hope that those visiting this sacred site understand that these were real people who sacrificed for our freedom and that they are honored and respected accordingly." Now, the Harris campaign has responded to this. They suggest this behavior is just typical for Donald Trump. They say it shows that he's only out for himself, but J.D. Vance firing back at that criticism, using some charged language, saying that Kamala Harris, the sitting vice president, quote, "can go to hell."
Now to a growing controversy in the presidential race, and it has to do with this picture right here on your screen of former President Donald Trump at Arlington National Cemetery and an altercation that occurred on the grounds there.
Bro, they made him do the thumbs up. That's crazy work, okay? When I saw this photo, I couldn't believe it. Like, That's crazy work, man. That's nasty. That is nasty. Insane pic. They're all smiling. They're smiling and they got the thumbs up over the grave of their family member. What? What are we doing? I think this genuinely shows like the idolatry surrounding Donald Trump. Okay. Like where these guys actively think, I mean, they're actively more excited at the prospect of of genuflecting the dear leader than like the actual context of the situation. Lying equals L, posing for a photo over dead people W. Yeah. Oh, it's so sick. And I think like if I'm not mistaken, I think this guy killed himself too. So they were like more mad about that too, where they literally were like, where they just like they posted up, throwing the thumbs up over the grave of like another fucking soldier too. Like that can be seen in the photo. Isn't not reading the room kind of the Republican MO? I mean, Donald Trump is goated at reading the room usually, but this is one of those situations where like he doesn't give a fuck. At the very least, it makes it extremely clear it's a campaign thing. He's not there to pay respect. Oh yeah,
involving his campaign staff. Meanwhile, on the other side, Vice President Kamala Harris prepares for a big moment with her running mate Tim Walz in the battleground state of Georgia today, and our Nancy Cordes has made her way to Savannah. Nancy, good morning. This is a first for the Harris-Walz campaign. What do we know?
That's right, Tony. It is the first sit-down interview that Vice President Harris will be doing since becoming the nominee. She's going to do it jointly with her vice presidential nominee, Tim Walz. She's going to do it here in Savannah, where she's also holding a rally at the end of a two-day swing through the part of the state that is typically not a target for Democratic nominees. Southeastern Georgia is Republican territory, but Vice President Harris and her running mate Tim Walz are rolling through anyway. Polls show Harris has pulled even with former President Trump in this battleground state. And her campaign says 35,000 volunteers have signed up in Georgia since Harris became the nominee last month. Hello. So far, she has stayed mum on the controversy over her opponent's visit to Arlington National Cemetery on Monday. Defense officials tell CBS News that some Trump staffers got, quote, aggressive, both verbally and physically, when a cemetery official tried to prevent them from bringing a campaign photographer onto the grounds. Federal law prohibits election-related activity in the cemetery. The Trump team insists their cameraman was invited by the family members of Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover, and Hoover's family agrees. They all posed with Trump at Hoover's gravesite Monday. But there was another headstone in the picture belonging to Master Sergeant Andrew Marchesano, who died in 2020. In a statement to CBS News, Marchesano's sister said her understanding was that...
Yeah, he died in 2020 by killing himself. Is crazy. Dude, this is a crazy story. Like, we haven't even watched the TikTok yet. We've only done the commentary around it. We gotta watch the TikTok because they filmed the TikTok. They filmed the fucking TikTok, dude. That's craziness. Let me see. Does anyone have it? I mean, he posted this. Chris LaCivita posted this. Oh. Assaulting graveyard workers over this shit feels like it should be a big deal, but nope, not in the U.S. No, not in the Trump era.
We lost 13 great people. What a horrible day it was. We didn't lose one person once. And then they took over. That disaster, the leaving of Afghanistan.
Kino Cinema. Oh, it's so good. My goat.
I'm so grateful to be here today with you, Mr. President.
He's pumping, dude. He's pumping those tiki-takis, dude. Look at that. 9.5 million, dude. You can't fucking hate this shit. It's sad the media won't show this. Brother, what are you talking about? The media definitely is showing this nonstop. Gotta hit him with a follow. Bro, Oh, Chatter said Trump does one podcast with Logan Paul and thinks it's a good idea to visit dead people and film their content. Yo! There's so much to be said about this. I'm going to run it again. I got to run it back.
13 great people. What a horrible day it was. We didn't lose one person in 18 months. And then
We didn't lose one person in 18 months. We didn't lose one person in 18 months. And then they took over this disaster and they killed 13 of our best soldiers.
Then they took over that disaster, the leaving of Afghanistan.
Trump. God. Oh my God. It's peak, dude. This is God clown show. Peak clown show. Love it. Love it. Living La Vida Loca, except for those guys. They died. So RIP to them. That's craziness. That's fucking craziness, dude. That's a lie. One of the guys in my ex-boyfriend's unit died in Afghanistan in 2019. Yeah. I wake up to 5 for my yarn. If food be so good, I'd be forgetting who the fuck died. Oh, so good. So fucking good. Here's also JD Vance's response to this. The absolute goat of charisma. They're saying generational run. Ron DeSantis was the theory. JD Vance is the praxis. Okay? They're saying no one has had this level of charisma, this kind of aura before. Okay? In the opposite direction. Let's take a look at Jebediah Vance.
You guys in the media, you're acting like Donald Trump filmed a TV commercial at a gravesite. He was there.
He did do that. He did. He just did a TikTok commercial, which is objectively lamer. Objectively lamer. Guys, he didn't film a TV commercial. He filmed a TikTok, which makes it funnier. Come on, man. Come on, man.
They're providing emotional support to a lot of brave Americans who lost loved ones they never should have lost, and they're happening.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Bro. Listen.
Do y'all remember when Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio came out with chamber in this Burger King bathroom? All to clean
Donald Trump
together.
Donald Trump doing. Donald Trump's been doing this shit, dude.
If I seen, my stepdad has passed away, and if I had seen somebody making a TikTok using a scrub daddy and some homemade egg cleaner, filming it for views, I'd be pretty pissed.
Wait, I want to play some of the original ones, dude. This is obviously one of our faves on the broadcast. We gotta play one of the scrub daddy. One of my scrub daddy favorites. Does anyone have any good ones that you just know off the top of your dome? Why can't I just find a good one? I know Jarvis talked about that. Hold on. We just want to original.
Let's clean a random grave. Who do you think is buried here? Let's clean it and find out. I have so many questions. How old is this grave? It looks like it's been here for 500 years. How did this grave get so dirty? Look, there's a tree growing out of it. I love plants. This transformation is extremely hard for me, but I believe everyone deserves a beautiful grave. Okay, so I did some research. A woman is buried here, and she has 2 brothers, just like me. I need to make her family proud. This is so satisfying. I wish I could live in the graveyard. Are you ready to find out
I wish I could live in a graveyard.
Buried here?
The ones where she like actually finds more information out about the person and then says
Lugo Texador. She died on the 19th of January, 1990. I get to do this work because you support and follow.
That's me. I support
I'm
him.
at the graveyard at night.
Oh, this one's
cleaning this abandoned grave for free. I have so many questions in my head. What happened? How did this grave get so dirty? Who's buried here? Her name's Bienvenida. Wow. Her name means welcome in Espanol. Wait a minute.
Yes! Wow. Her name means welcome in Espanol. Wow. folks.
Wait a minute. Her grave should be welcoming too. But right now, this is the dirtiest grave I've ever seen. That's so unfair. Everyone deserves a beautiful resting place. Bienvenida died on July 23rd, 1980. Her star sign is Aries. My best friend is an Aries. I wonder what Bienvenida's life was like. Does she like chocolate cupcakes? What killed her? This transformation is a lot of work. I'm all night, but it's so fun. Ooh, a little bug. Thank you to everyone who supports and follows.
Wow. Yeah, she also put a little shovel move action in there too. Did you guys? That was a classic one.
Our sign is Aries.
Yeah, see, she makes the shovel move too. Respect. Please tell me it's rage bait. Anyway, I respect it. I respect her work. Make her. Wait, what is this?
Addicted, don't know what the fuck I'm on. I can't stop it when I feel it coming on. Make her disappear just like poof, then she's gone. Addicted, don't know what the fuck I'm on.
Performing Lady Killers 2 by G-Eazy for President Lyndon B. Johnson. Oh, that's crazy. Anyway, like I said, am a big fan, okay? Openly a big fan of all of this. Openly a advocate for everything that happened here. I will be voting for Donald Trump after this Arlington cemetery process. What a fucking story, dude. Oh my God. Never let a crisis go to waste, okay?
That the Trump campaign staffer did not adhere to the rules. We hope that those visiting this sacred site, she said, understand that these were real people who sacrificed for our freedom.
The altercation at Arlington Cemetery is the media creating a story where I really don't think that there is one.
In Erie, Pennsylvania, Trump's VP nominee, J.D. Vance, sought to shift the focus to Harris.
And she wants to yell at Donald Trump because he showed up. She can go to hell.
Ooh.
That is pretty unusual.
He almost got mean. He almost said she could fuck herself. Ooh. Ooh. Fuck, man. This is... Oh, Gary Peterson with another banger. Wait, what? It was my honor to take Roger Stone out of town for his birthday. What the fuck? Okay, stop. I don't care about Gary Peterson memes, okay?
Language for the campaign trail, and the fact is that Harris hasn't yelled at Trump for going to Arlington. She hasn't said anything about the situation at all. A Harris campaign spokesperson did say yesterday that the situation is pretty sad, and he said it's not unusual for the Trump campaign.
Oh my God. This was fucking crazy. JD Vance also, again, generational run, generational talent. Obviously, many people are wondering how he does it. Okay. Many people are wondering what the JD Vance method is. Okay. How does he do it? How does he go and get booed during his speech at the firefighters convention? Why is it that like he constantly keeps putting himself in this position where like you can immediately look at the VP pick on the other side of the race and recognize the genuine differences in the way that normal humans receive these two separate VP picks? We already know this. We already watched it with JD Vance's donut shop altercation, okay, where I will be playing that and then side by side compare it to like Tim Walz making doing an order at a local establishment. Let's just watch.
So Vance just addressed the Firefighters Union convention in Boston, and Walz spoke to that same group yesterday. One of two major unions, I should point out, that has yet to endorse in the presidential race. Talk about the difference both in their message and in the reception.
The politics of organized labor have been really interesting in this race because what we saw in this race, what we saw in the last race, frankly, was in many cases union leadership backing Democrats and union members in some cases voting for Trump. It's always been an area where he's been stronger than traditional Republicans have been. Here, in the case of this dueling appearances at this firefighters union convention, we saw Tim Walz give a directly pro-labor address yesterday. Now, both he and Vance included elements of their own personal story, their own personal experiences with firefighters, with EMTs, tried to kind of humanize their messages. I think it was very clear that the Walz approach yesterday was more effective in the room than the J.D. Vance approach today.
Yeah. Here is Tim Walz, okay, Fox News carried part of Tim Walz's speech to Firefighters Union in Boston, where he attacks Trump and highlights the dangers of Project 2025.
He blocked overtime benefits for millions of workers. He opposed efforts to raise the minimum wage.
Let's watch how Walz. Let's watch how Walz talked. RIP Twitter in Brazil. Oh, is that why people are talking about how Twitter is down? Do I have that many Brazilian chatters?
Even proposed slashing budgets for federal fire service programs. Those are just simply facts. But look, it's not just what they've done, it's what they're going to do. This is the big thing. One of the goals of their Project 2025 is to screw the middle class, making it harder for workers to collectively bargain, allowing employers to drastically cut overtime or eliminate it, slash taxes for the ultra-wealthy by imposing a national sales tax on the rest of us. Look, I've said this, I'm an old-time football coach. If you draw up a playbook, you plan on using it. Project 2025 is a plan to reshape what America looks like, moving away from the middle class and putting it right back on the oligarchs and the wealthy at the top. He said he's going to repeal the Affordable Care Act. That thing is pre-existing conditions. Those are things that make sure that our family gets health care. And for many of our families, and I know you don't get to participate in it, but your families do, my mom does, Social Security and Medicare are life-saving programs for them. Instead of funding those programs, they talk about cutting them. So here, this is what I always say. If you got $1 billion, you don't give a damn if your Social Security check shows up. But if you're like my mom, that's how you pay for your food. That's how you pay for your heat. That's how things get done. So that check, pretty damn important to protect it. Again, use their own.
The fucking room is shaking, okay? The walls are sweating. My man is quaking, okay?
This is a guy who told his friends down at Mar-a-Lago, and this is a direct quote. Look, all of you you're rich as hell. We're going to give you a tax cut, while telling workers that wages are too high. That says it all. And again, if you're confused on where you're going to go, think about what impacts you, your life, and your family the most. So let me tell you exactly what Vice President Harris and I will do when we get elected. As president, then President Harris will sign the PRO Act, making it easier for unions to organize. We'll protect Safer Grant program. It's good to see you say this. If you have to spend any time thinking if you want to support the PRO Act, that pretty much tells you where you're at, because that's a pretty easy one. Same thing with the Safer Grant program. We know it's essential to helping serve and protect communities, especially as we starting to see intensive heat waves. We'll keep fighting to protect your retirement benefits, lowering taxes for working families, and finally making corporations just pay their fair share. They're doing fine. They're doing fine. They can pay their fair share. Look.
So seems like that was broadly received as a overall very popular speech. Okay. People like that a lot. Okay. People like that speech a lot. Let's hear how JD Vance was received in that same fucking room. Does anyone have the actual clip of JD Vance just getting booed? Because that's the one I want to show you. Just straight up getting booed, dog. Not a good look at all. Okay. Hold on. Let me see if I... Oh, here it is. Here it is. It was in the docket. Here it is. JD Vance. President Trump and I are proud to be the most pro-worker Republican ticket in history.
Now, President Trump and I are proud to be the most pro-worker Republican ticket in history. And I want to talk about why we're fighting for working people, why we're going to fight for unions and non-union alike.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Bro. Come on, dude. It is like what is going on? How does this keep happening? How does this keep happening? Here's a longer video of JD Vance getting booed by the firefighters group.
JD Vance.
When he first comes up.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Well, Semper Fi, guys. We got some, it sounds like we got some fans and some haters. That's okay. Listen to what I have to say here.
That's crazy. Insta-booed. Insta-boo. I would kill myself. Yeah, like if JD Vance actually had a soul and hadn't had that sucked out of him by Peter Thiel, as he was Peter Thiel's blood boy, okay? If he hadn't done like Illuminati rituals to get to the position that he's in right now, he would feel really bad. Okay. But because he is exactly that like bloodless, soulless, sociopathic monster that is constantly trying to be a fucking carpet bagging ladder climber, he doesn't have any of that. Okay. He doesn't have any of that. So he will not be killing himself. Okay.
To make my pitch, I want to first say thank you to Representative Jimenez for the great introduction.
He attempted to do a human joke as well.
Republican and Democrat conventions we just had. It says a lot who each party chose to put up on that stage. At the Republican convention, we were featuring everyday American workers, and of course, we had Hulk Hogan. And while it's tempting, and I'm sure it would make some big headlines, don't worry, everybody, I'm not going to try to take off my shirt here.
Oh. Like, remember the way, CNN is airing the first clip of the interview right now. Okay, we're going to look at this real quick. Oh, shit.
Values have not changed. You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I have worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter to which we should apply metrics that include
4 hours
holding
and 57 minutes remaining
to deadlines around time. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. We have set goals for the United States of America and by extension the globe around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, as an example. That value has not changed. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has not changed. I spent 2 terms as the Attorney General of California prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of American laws regarding the illegal passage of guns, drugs, and human beings across our border. My values have not changed.
So, Phil, that is her sort of broad explanation of some changes in policy and what she would do as president now that she is running at the top of the ticket in 2024. But as I said, we did talk about some of the specifics, which you'll see tonight.
Dana, you mentioned wide-ranging. I don't want you to give it all away. Obviously, it airs at 9 p.m. tonight.
Don't give it all away.
What else? Kind of top-line people did you have an opportunity to speak to them about?
Well, we talked about, that was just domestic policy. We talked about foreign policy. But, you know, because she has not sat down for an interview yet in this very quick, very unprecedented race that she is running, how did that happen? The fact that we were even having this conversation wouldn't have been a thing a little more than a month ago because she was running for re-election as vice president. And I asked her about the phone call that she got from President Biden when he announced on that Sunday, July 21st, that he was going to step aside and not run for re-election. And she told me that it was maybe TMI, but that she wanted to tell me the story of how that happened. So you have to wait, Phil, for that TMI for the story.
Can I ask, Dana, just from an observational perspective, you covered Governor Walz. I think you covered him in the House. You covered Senator Harris, Vice President Harris. As you noted, this has been a whirlwind, and they're in the midst of a crazy sprint right now. What was your impression of them when they sat down as they went through this interview?
Well, they're just getting to know each other as all candidates.
Boo, this stuff is so fucking boring. I don't care about like the vibes, dude. Oh my God, they're carrying. Okay, here is a couple predictions I'm making about this interview. Considering that Dana Fash is talking about all the vibes, okay, I suspect that they said some unhinged shit about Israel on this interview, okay, as in like unhinged pro-Israel shit. If they talked about it at all. No, it didn't go well. No, it went well. I think it went well. I think this interview, they carried a lot of water.
Just a senator and a House member, but it is kind of the getting to know you stage, but they do seem to have a comfort level with one another. And the big question is going to be how they translate their connection to the voters and, most importantly, the policies.
Like she says she's going to kill more Palestinians or some shit on this interview, okay?
Especially on the question of affordability, the affordability crisis in America right now.
Speaking of whirlwinds and sprints, I believe that's been your week as well. Dana Bash, we appreciate you unveiling the first sound of this interview.
Yeah, I'm unveiling the top of the hour ad break right now. Okay, that's my suspicion. That's my suspicion. I've been saying since the Walz pick they were just going to run this shit on vibes alone and try to girl boss Brad Summer their way to the win. Yeah, we'll see. Dana Bash is one of the country's leading Zionists. She was a major Zionist. She was on a major Zionist organization board. Her first husband was the CIA chief of staff. The fact that they picked her for this first interview is bad, to put it mildly. Well, the fact that knowing all of that about Dana Fash, knowing what she has said in support of Israel since October 7, I suspect that considering that she is angling this interview as like a relatively positive experience, I suspect that Kamala Harris, if she were asked about Israel at all, probably says some unhinged ultra-Zionist shit. Okay? That's how you keep the interview in an uncontested, non-adversarial capacity. I get her mixed up with the one that married to Alan Greenspan. No, that's the other one that looks exactly like Dana Bash, but is like tinier. I forget her name. Okay? The tinier one that looks like Dana Fash. Anyway, here's the 3-minute ad break now. How are you still looking for clues? What do you mean? Oh, Andrea Mitchell. Yeah, exactly. Andrea Mitchell is the other one that looks like Dana Fash, but isn't. Okay. They're hiding Harris because her personality is probably genuinely repulsive. Walz balances that out, but the more we see, the less excited people will get. If one more person tells me that there's a fucking new Bernie Sanders interview with Hassan Minhaj about the ceasefire in Gaza, I'm just going to fucking go directly into Wukong. Okay? I'm just going to dive directly. Like, do you think I'm not going to watch that? Do you think I'm not familiar with what's going on there? Please stop. Like, I know, man. I know. Okay, shut the fuck up. I got news to cover. Please stop. Is it Wukong and Jory? Did you know about the Bernie interview? Yeah. Okay. Now everyone's going to be... I forgot. The #1 chirpers in this community that are underrepresented, but overrepresented in the chat, underrepresented in general, are the fucking gaming watchers. Or those who enjoy the chirp for specifically gaming. I swear they are my downfall. I swear. I love them all, and I give them so much meat to chew on. But usually, it's so obvious that you guys love talking about gaming, but you don't love watching when the gaming is happening. Okay? That's it. Gaming frogs think they're the silent majority, but they're actually the vocal minority. Yeah, 100%. I mean, anyway. All right. So getting back to the JD Vance, Tim Walz, same speech, like side by side comparisons. I want to show you obviously another fucking comparison that happened like last week that was really bad. But let's
don't take my word
first.
for it. Let's listen to some of both men over the last 2 days.
President Trump and I are proud to be the most pro-worker Republican ticket in history. And I want to talk about why we're fighting for working people, why we're going to fight for unions and non-union alike.
But I can promise you this. When Vice President Harris and I win this election, we'll have your back just like you've had ours this entire time.
So two things can be true at once here, Chris. Donald Trump can have a better relationship with union member voters around the country than many previous Republican candidates. We can also pretty regularly say things that drive a wedge between he and their support, like when he cheered on Elon Musk for his own union-busting behavior in that interview that they did on X. I think that's some of what's coming back to bite J.D. Vance, as he has to kind of go into the lion's den here and make a pitch.
Yeah. No, it's that for sure. It's also... It's that, #1. #2, it's also because, obviously, they are in Massachusetts. Okay. And #3, Tim Walz is charismatic. JD Vance is not. Okay. Hold on. Let me find the clip real quick. So let's take a look. Yes, we're going to talk about Elon Musk in Brazil too. Y'all are being fucking annoying. There's a lot of shit going on, okay? I'm going to cover all of it. Here is JD Vance trying to order donuts set to the VPN credits.
Okay, yeah. She doesn't want to be on film, guys, so just cut her out of anything.
I kind of want to watch the original one. It's, oh, here.
We really
Tim Walz and JD Vance on the campaign trail. This is better. Okay. Let's see how Tim Walz orders from a local eatery.
Did a little rally on the side when we had a little extra time. If you don't know, the iconic Nebraska restaurant is the Runza.
Is everybody else in here? All right, one of the few. Okay. So we are...
Don't call it anything else except for Runza. The bread consistency, all of it really matters. I got the Swiss and mushroom. is kind of a classic. The cheese is solid. You can be a little bit creative, but...
Dozen, sir? A couple dozen? Okay. I'm sorry, man? Okay, yeah. She doesn't want to be on film, guys, so just cut her out of anything.
Okay.
I'm JD Vance. I'm running for vice president. Nice to see you. Just so bad, bro. So humiliating.
This is it. If you're going to go to Nebraska, if you're going to go to a Nebraska football game, if you're just going to be a good person, you stop at Runs. I think it's the bread consistency. I mean,
Making your homemade every day?
Yeah. Get this guy on TV.
Okay.
Yep. And just a random assortment of stuff here. How long have you worked here?
I've been here since the beginning of July.
Okay.
For this year.
Okay. Good. How about you, sir?
Almost TV for Runs Us. Thanks for the work you're doing. Matters. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Pleasure to meet you all. Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Good. How long? Just everything. Yeah. I mean, a lot of glazed here, some sprinkle stuff, some of these cinnamon rolls, just whatever makes sense.
Ma'am, if you don't
Whatever makes sense. Order, whatever makes sense.
if you don't want to be on film, you're okay.
How long has this place been around?
About 4 years.
About 4 years? Okay. How long have you been here?
A little over 6 months.
Okay, good.
Okay, good. Oh my God. Painfully obvious how who goes to these places genuinely and who's just doing it for a media op. Okay, but like, how do you fuck up ordering donuts, man? You're just failing to be a human at that point. You're not just failing the media op. You're failing being a human. Like, it makes no sense. Like, how do you fuck up ordering donuts, dude? You don't have anything locked in the chamber? Like, no fucking line in there? You just go, okay. He just sounds like a fucking alien. Sounds like a goddamn alien trying to, like, not give the game away. I don't get it. But yeah, he is consistently finding himself.
This process
You need to learn how to fucking cook.
of the juice and then
Come on, honey. It's a baster.
what are you doing now?
Caramelizing the onions, Nina.
Tell me more. Tell me more. I need to learn.
Trying to teach you. You're being a video.
Look at that.
Of course, Megaphonics has like deep cuts, dude. God damn, Megaphonics. I'm putting a shutdown on Megaphonics clips going forward. Not even relevant to the fucking conversation here. Just wanted to send one of his goddamn bookmarked Kamala clips. He has been on the Kamala train way too fucking hard, okay? Bro is a Kamala gooner 100%. Ever since he was outed as a mega donor for the DNC when he went to that San Francisco dinner where he paid $500,000. Ever since he went to that Kamala Harris fundraiser and paid $500 for one plate, he's just been on the Mamala train, okay? Yeah. Chad, it's not real. He's lying. Yeah, okay. Don't be embarrassed now. Don't be embarrassed now. Whoa. He invited me as his +1. Can confirm. Oh my God. Oh my God. I was there. Can confirm. I was the dinner plate. Damn. Damn. More truths coming out. More facts coming out, dude. I was the fork? What? Oh my God. They weren't the fork. They were lying. Nope. Damn, they were protesters. There were protesters protesting the dinner outside. They saw Megaphonics walk through. Goddamn. I was his Uber driver. He told me to stop protesting. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Harris tells Dana Bash on CNN she won a Republican in her cabinet. It's important. Oh my God. I'm Brian Kilme. I'm Brian Kilme. Oh my God. I couldn't even read the rest of it. Okay. I saw you at Trump's gala event last year wearing your camo tuxedo. Fuck yeah, I was there, baby. Hell yeah. Prominently in display, dude. I'm fucking riding, dude. What do you mean? I'm one of the big donors. I'm trying to get that coveted Trump speaking engagement. It's important to have people at the table when some of the most important decisions are being made that have different views, different experiences. And I think it would be the benefit of the American public to have a member of the cabinet who's a Republican. Yeah, Obama did this too, and it was also bad when he did it. The Nikki Haley voter who endorsed Trump is so important to her. I'm losing it, dude. This is so stupid. Oh my God. They're going to fucking eke out a marginal victory off of this, and then liberals are going to be unbearable for liberals are going to be unbearable as they bring about the fascist downfall of the United States of America, okay? It's coming. Get ready for it. Yeah. Republicans run the table, routinely fucking call Democrats like pedophile monsters, communist vampires, or whatever the fuck. Then Democrats turn around and go, hey, you know those guys that are calling us like pedophile monsters? We should have one of their representatives in a key position in the administration. Okay? Why are you running against them then? Why? Why are you running against them? This is why I'm saying, like, they love Republicans, man. They want to fuck Republicans. They want to hug and kiss Republicans. What the fuck is going on, dude? It is so bad. It is so fucking bad.
To a crowd that clearly seems to be leaning one direction, regardless of what their official endorsement's been thus far.
Joining me now, former.
The polling shows voters trust Trump over Harris on key 2024 issue. Yeah, the polls that came out recently, by the way, look really fucking bad for Trump. Having said all of this, not the national polls where like Kamala is like winning, or I'm not even talking about like the swing state polls or whatever. I'm specifically talking about, where's Dave Weigel's tweet on this? Here, every issue question is closer than you'd expect. Harris is up 1 point over Trump on crime, up just 5 points on democracy, but Trump leads on economy and immigration down to single digits. Same story for a month. Biden was cooked. Harris is competitive. The one issue, however, that like Trump is cooking on is Israel. Now, I suspect that the Democrats would look at that and learn the absolute worst lesson from that, which is not to run into the Jeremy Corbyn problem and Jeremy Corbyn on Brexit problem and do this like wishy-washy bullshit and have a firm commitment to like a ceasefire proposal that they put forward, and also use the leverage that they have to get Israel to do the ceasefire proposal that they put forward. They're going to think, oh, it's because we're not aggressive enough in terms of defending Israel. Oh my God. Quinnipiac finds Harris ahead by a point on the issue of crime. Likely voters. 49% say Harris, 48% say Trump on crime. Russia-Ukraine war, 49% say Trump, 47% say Harris. U.S. Supreme Court, 49% say Harris, 47% say Trump. Israel, Hamas, war in Gaza, 49% say Trump, 45% say Harris. Immigration, 51% say Trump, 46% Harris. Preserving democracy, 50% say Harris, 45% say Trump. The economy, 52% say Trump, 46% say Harris. Gun violence, 51% say Harris, 45% say Trump. Inflation, 52% for Trump, 45% for Harris. Abortion, 55% say Harris, 38% say Trump. And climate change, 59% say Harris, 34% say Trump. Okay? I want to bring this back again. In the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza, 49% say Trump, 45% say Harris. Harris gets a massive advantage not being Biden. Biden was losing to Trump by 20 fucking points, by double digits on Israel. Okay? Double digits. Double digits. Why is it that people see Harris as better, despite the fact that she has basically communicated the exact same things that Joe Biden has so far? That is because people are wishing what her policy positions are on this matter, rather than actually analyzing the situation in the same exact way that people are wish casting what they personally think Trump is going to do with Israel versus what Trump is actually actively communicating. Trump gets a major benefit here for both Ukraine and also for Hamas and Palestine and Gaza and Israel, because he's not the president. So when you're not in a position of power, people that support you will actively assume you are going to do, especially if you're charismatic enough, they will actively assume that you're going to do whatever they want you to do, okay? Whatever they believe is the right choice. This does not mean that 49% of people are saying, oh, Trump is going to finish the job in Gaza, And that's why they're like, oh yeah, many people are just like really aggressive in terms of like their opinion on Israel Palestine. Okay, that's not what this means at all. I need you to understand that. That's not what this means at all. Because if that is what that meant, actually, he is the president. You just refuse to acknowledge it. True. Okay. If that is what that meant at all, on the issue of what do you call it? On the issue of like Israel Palestine. Okay. I don't know why you guys banned that chatter. He didn't say anything wrong. Bad RNG girl. They didn't say anything bad. That was a misfire, I think. You're bad, Hassan. I am the baddest. I'm a baddie. Oh, this is the person that they're talking about? I thought they were... Oh, no. I thought you were... bad girl RNG is the one that got banned, I thought. Shut the fuck up already. Swing ya bank. Anyway. Yes, when people are polled specifically on Israel, they oppose weapons aid and Israel's war on Gaza. Exactly. Okay? So obviously, it is not that like many people personally think that Donald Trump's calculations on Israel Palestine are that he is going to finish the job, as in he's going to make the genocide even worse. It is the exact opposite. There are plenty of, obviously the Republican Party thinks that, and they like that. They're Republicans. They're the most invested in Israel finishing the job, i.e. continuing the genocide, mass expulsion of Palestinians and whatnot. Having said that, however, there are plenty of people that literally are still factored into this percentage that most likely think, well, Trump's not the president. He says he's going to finish the job. I think personally he's going to do better than Kamala Harris would do in this situation. Now, do I fault them for this? No. Do you want to know why I don't fault them for thinking this way, even though they are objectively in the wrong? Because they are objectively in the wrong if they think Trump is going to be better. And I have reiterated this time and time again. Why do I think that people still have these opinions? It is because, is that just speculation though on your end? No, it is not speculation on my end. Of course, I'm looking at the numbers in front of me. What are you talking about? The numbers show 77% of Democrats want to stop weapons transfers to Israel in an effort to get Israel to come to the table on the ceasefire agreement that we have put together months ago. Okay? 60+% of moderates also want this. Trump supporters want children to be lasered, but that would mean that Harris would still have a bonus on Trump on this. Harris would be defeating Trump on the issue of Israel-Hamas. Okay? Looking at the actual numbers when polled on the issue alone, obviously, if one side is communicating that they want a ceasefire, the other side is simply saying, well, I'm not the president, Joe Biden started this, and also I'm gonna finish the job, then yeah, Trump should be winning. Okay? I mean, not Trump should be winning, sorry. Trump, these numbers would make sense if there was an overwhelming amount of support for Israel to continue bombing Gaza. Okay? But there isn't. There's an overwhelming amount of support on the opposite direction on this issue, which means that there are people here that are saying Trump would do a better job in scaling back Israel's violence. Obviously, there are plenty of people in this base that, think Trump is going to do a better job because they love Trump. Trump is going to do a better job because, they're going to punish Gaza even more, right? But there's still plenty of people, obviously, that are being polled here, just judging by the numbers, that think Trump is going to be better and more peaceful. Why do they think this is a great question. Why do these people think this way, even though they are objectively wrong? It's because Kamala Harris has not separated herself from Joe Biden on this issue. She has not communicated anything majorly different than Joe Biden has on this issue. And as it stands, the issue of Israel is not a partisan issue at all. It is bipartisan, as a matter of fact. Our undying loyalty and commitment to Israel's genocide is bipartisan. This is why I keep saying Kamala Harris needs to actively turn this into a partisan issue, okay? she needs to polarize the base against Donald Trump. Yes, I mean that people want a ceasefire, and since Democrats won't advocate for it, well, Democrats are advocating for a ceasefire, but they're not doing enough for it. Okay? They think the Democrats are too weak on this issue. They're too weak to fucking make Israel do our bidding. Do you get it? Yes, people are hoping that Trump will be different because he's not in power. This was the exact same phenomena that took place in 2016. This is the only angle that actually turns this back into a Hillary versus Trump style race in 2016. Trump still gets the benefit of not being president. Just like in 2016, he had the benefit of being an outsider, being able to communicate as an outsider, okay, against someone who he obviously didn't really try too hard, but successfully portrayed as a warmonger, Hillary Clinton. And even though he has been president already, and we know what his tenure looked like, okay, a lot of people are still responding to what he is saying. And what he's saying is he's a peaceful guy. He's the dove, that he's going to solve Ukraine. He's going to solve Israel, Palestine, and that no new wars happen under his 4-year reign. That's important to take note of, okay? Because you might look at the situation and understand that that's bullshit. I myself understand that that's fucking bullshit. He greatly escalated drone wars, didn't pull out of Afghanistan after saying that he was going to, okay? And now literally shits on Biden for pulling out of Afghanistan. But overall, what matters is how he's communicating to the public. He's communicating to the public that he is a peaceful dove. Stop sending me the Trump campaign. I know he's live in Michigan. We don't have to always fucking listen to what he's saying. I'm covering. It's the same thing that he's going to talk about as he's talked about a million times over. Okay, shut the fuck up. If Donald Trump keeps saying, oh, I started no new wars and I'm going to be the peaceful candidate, and Kamala Harris says, I'm going to have the most militant military, the most lethal military force you've ever seen, this is going to cause problems for her. Okay? That's it. Because Democrats will never win the patriots. Okay? Republicans own patriotism. That's why Donald Trump could literally say, fuck John McCain, and still end up winning over a massive amount of veterans, end up successfully campaigning, okay, as the guy who loves America. That's it. Republicans in this country own patriotism. They own it. Democrats will never own patriotism. DNC platform now versus 4 years ago. The DNC quietly added language in their 2024 platform hinting at U.S. escalation against Hezbollah in Lebanon. It is similar to language the U.S. has used to describe Hamas, while it has unconditionally supported Israel's war on Gaza that has killed 40,000 plus. Okay? DNC platform now versus 4 years ago. The 2024 platform calling for Lebanon to be free from the grip of Iran-backed Hezbollah is a far cry from the 2020 version, which read, Democrats believe the United States should not impose regime change on other countries and reject that as a goal of the U.S. policy towards Iran. Do you think that there are a shit ton of voters that are like, oh, dude, this is exactly what I want. I want regime change in Lebanon. I want to wipe out Hezbollah. Do you think that there are likely Democrat voters who are like, oh, thank God there's a Republican in the cabinet? What the fuck are they doing? What are they doing? Having said that, of course, we go back to J.D. Vance, and you remember that, like, obviously, you know, they're throwing as hard as they possibly can. So polling reflects that reality, but the Democrats are far too comfortable and racing to the bottom yet again. Terrible instincts overall. The Harris interview thing is weird. I don't think a particularly big deal, but if she inherited the very online Biden staffers who were media phobic and thought the New York Times was out to get them, etc., when the actual problem was that he was in fact way too old, that's not a great sign. Oh, never seen both campaigns are like, wow, in this year, what? Tim Walz a veteran? You don't think that would help with win veteran votes? Oh, I can tell this person only started paying attention to American politics for like 1, maybe 2 election cycles. Okay? This is the endless Democratic Party gambit. Okay? They've done this so many times. John Kerry is a great example of this. It doesn't fucking matter. Okay? To the young chatters, If this is your first, maybe second election cycle, let me explain something to you, okay? I have been carefully watching and analyzing the Democratic Party lose elections for 2 decades at this point, professionally for 1, okay? Professionally for 1 decade, watching it as an amateur enjoyer of American politics for 2 decades. And time again, Democrats regularly put forward veterans in the South, veterans as like veterans as a way to like win elections, win veteran voters, and try to drum up the patriotic messaging from the Democratic Party. It does not fucking matter. Nobody cares. They will never consider the Democrats to be the true patriot party. They literally think that the Democrats are pussies and cowards. Okay? Amy McGrath got fucking cumstered and dumpstered by a turtle man with no like genuine base of support. They recycled the Kerry flip-flopper term on Kamala, but it's not going to work this time. Yeah. John Kerry ran as a huge military pig, and he was labeled as a treasonous soldier who betrayed and accidentally got his platoon killed. Yep. They said his Purple Heart was fake. Here it is. Megaphonics getting back on my good graces by sending me an actually good link for one. I'm confused on why do you have so many bots in your chat? Do you think that this is an attempt from the DNC to smear you for your Palestine takes, or is it just Amazon gassing you up? I'm confused. What? Bots? What fucking bots do I have in the chat? Yeah. Amy McGrath got 38.23% of the vote to Mitch McConnell getting 57.76% of the vote in the Senate election in Kentucky. They literally voted for a fucking carcass. Okay? They voted for a fucking carcass over this person who was a bona fide military veteran. You know, they pumped hundreds of millions, or not hundreds of millions, but they pumped a shit ton of money into this campaign, okay? And they constantly beefed up her bona fides as a veteran, Marine fighter pilot, okay? Kerry had 3 Purple Hearts in that year at the RNC. They all wore purple Band-Aids on their cheeks in the crowd. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't fucking matter. I'm giving you an example of a man. Counterpoint woman, no, okay? Bro, Hasanabi, to be honest, I have not heard Trump talk at all about the war in Gaza, Free Palestine, by the way, and I heard Harris, but never Trump heard him talk about Russia and Ukraine. Yes, that is part of the reason why we go back to this poll where Trump is like doing better than Kamala Harris on fucking Gaza, because he very carefully does not talk about Gaza. He rarely ever talks about it. And when he does, he says Israel needs to finish the job. He's also said something along the lines of Israel's losing favor in the world by continuing the way that he is. It's not that he doesn't care. No, it's not that he doesn't care. He just knows that he doesn't have to fucking say anything, and he can just go and get like Miriam Adelson to give him hundreds of millions of dollars, and then he'll turn around when he's in office, fucking annex the West Bank, just like he did last time. He uses Palestinian as a pejorative. Okay, he's not pro-Palestine at all, but these numbers show that at least some percentage of people think he might be pro-Palestine, or at least better on Palestine than Kamala Harris in terms of like better to Palestinians. Because when polled on the issue on its own, people legitimately are demanding a fucking ceasefire. It sucks when candidates run scared and abandon popular progressive policies, but I think people need to remember what things used to look like. Here's a quick tour with me through the dark ages of the 2000s and 2010s. The classic Joe Manchin dead
federal government.
I mean, yeah.
I'm Joe Manchin. I approve this ad because I'll always defend West Virginia. As your senator, I'll protect our Second Amendment rights. That's why the NRA endorsed me. I'll take on Washington and this administration to get the federal government off of our backs and out of our pockets. I'll cut federal spending, and I'll repeal the bad parts of Obamacare. I sued EPA, and I'll take dead aim at the cap and trade bill, because it's bad for West Virginia. I'm Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, no, West Virginians don't need clean water. Famously, they're aliens. Here's Senator Blanche Lincoln in Arkansas.
Lincoln, and I want to show you what it's like in Washington these days. In your tax dollars, this is why I voted against giving more money to Wall Street, against the auto company bailout, against the public option health care plan, and against the cap and trade bill that would have raised energy costs on Arkansans. None of those were right for Arkansas. Some in my party didn't like it very much, but I approve this message because I don't answer to my party.
She said Arkansas? Wait.
Some raised energy costs on Arkansans. None of...
I'm right. Hey, yo, Arkansans. Okay, yeah, she still got smoked. Here's a doozy from Senator Ben Nelson.
Drug dealers, gang members, and 500,000 illegal immigrants sneaked into America last year, compromising our national security and costing us jobs. I'm Ben Nelson, and I sponsor this ad because we need to protect our borders. My legislation would hire 10,000 new border agents, increase border patrols, and make it harder to hire undocumented workers. My plan won't completely solve this problem, but it's a good start.
Washington by Michael Bennett is a reminder of what the Tea Party wave looked like on the ground.
In this Washington, they spend money they don't have. In this Washington, families are looking for ways to get by. Here, the special interests have too much power. Here, people are looking for someone to stand up for them. This Washington is broken. This Washington is looking to get to work. I'm Michael Bennett, and I approve this message because I know what Colorado families are going through.
My goat. My fucking goat. Oh, Kaya's groomer's here. Doors open. Okay. All right, we'll get back to this in a second, but here, new polling shows voters trust Trump over Harris on key issues, like I said.
Today's going to be a busy day out on the campaign trail. The vice president is going to sit down for her first interview in over a month since she's been at the top of the ticket, along with her running mate, Tim Walz.
Meanwhile, Axios is calling out here, saying there are burning questions that the vice president needs to answer on her growing number of policy flip-flops.
Yeah, she's basically taking the Trump platform. Lucas Tomlinson joins us live. Hey, Lucas.
Well, good morning, guys. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Vice President Harris sitting down for her first interview that will be taped alongside her running mate Tim Walz after weeks of dodging the press since Biden dropped out of the race. Now, a new Reuters Ipsos poll shows Harris leading Trump 45-41 nationally. She also has a 13-point lead among women and Hispanic voters. And this new Fox News poll shows Harris with a slight lead over Donald Trump in Arizona, Georgia, and Nevada, states Trump narrowly lost 4 years ago. In North Carolina, Trump is up a point in a state he won back in 2020. And Axios, as you mentioned, Lawrence, out with what it calls the 10 burning questions Harris needs to answer about her record. I'll read just 5 of them. Price gouging. Could you define price gouging for the American public? Taxes. When you say only the wealthy will see their taxes increase, how high should they go? Immigration. What changed from you to shift from calling a border wall un-American in 2018 to now saying you'd sign a bill that ensures more of the wall is built? Inflation. What was the inflation rate when you took office? That seems pretty straightforward. Supreme Court reform. Will you ask any Supreme Court justices appointed by Democrats to resign after 18 years?
Here is a woman who is trying to break the ultimate glass ceiling, and she needs to drag Waltz with her. I mean, even the Wall Street Journal said she needs a crutch. This is absurd. The woman's been in this race for 38 days. She should be able to do a solo press interview that's not edited.
And President Trump is back on the campaign trail today with stops in Michigan and Wisconsin, so it's a good thing Rachel's on set today, guys.
That's right.
That's right.
Wisconsin expert.
Right.
I am.
Thank you very much, Lucas.
Thanks, Lucas.
Yeah,
Thanks
it's
for booking
really
it.
incredible that media organizations, because we only get one interview, have to get their questions answered by proxy. Everyone is putting up what they would ask the Vice President of the United States because she only has agreed to one interview.
As J.D. Vance said yesterday, is she going to show up to the debate wearing a blue suit and a red tie? Because there's so much that she has done to run from her record, run from her 3.5 years as vice president, and run to Donald Trump with strong on the border, his economic principles, as well as the immigration when it comes to building the wall and repurposing the $650 million that's still out there. Right. Now she talks about law enforcement. Just looking at the polls right now, it's not a major bounce for somebody that the momentum of not being Joe Biden, momentum of naming a running mate, momentum of the DNC.
They're coping a bit. Okay, they're definitely coping because these polls don't actually look good at all. Okay. And like I said, these polls don't look good for Trump at all. Okay. There's no world where you can show this and then go, oh, well, you know, Trump is losing but not by a lot. Okay. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, it still shows that Trump is losing, right? Having said that, however, you can tell when Trump is not doing well by the way that he posts. Okay, if he's on a posting frenzy, if he's on a fucking posting frenzy, you can tell he is not doing all right. You can also tell when he's on a frenzy if he's consistently talking about how the polls are fake and the media is fake and they're lying, which is precisely what he's doing. He's been posting like QAnon shit, just. You know, he's been going nutty mo with it. Having said that, however, like I mentioned, this does not mean automatic lock, automatic victory for Kamala Harris. I will consistently urge, once again, for the campaign to not do these dumbass things that they've been doing since the DNC and past the DNC, thinking that they have this in the fucking bag.
All these battleground states are within shouting distance. Here you have the Georgia number. Right. And that's where Donald Trump is today.
Well, you know, Fox News came out with these Sun Belt state polls, and Donald Trump is still ahead, I believe, in the state of North Carolina, within the margin of error. But it's interesting. So as they do this bus tour through Georgia, apparently the strategy is the Democrats think that Georgia is actually in play. And they always win Atlanta. So what they're trying to do with this bus tour is they're going to go to southeast Georgia. They're the swing state polls, right? Or rather the Sun Belt polls. And Kamala Harris just a little ahead of Trump. Goes to show you how much a difference it can make. Anyway, as I started to say, the Democrats can always win Atlanta. They're going to the southeast because they're trying to lose by a smaller margin. And that could be one of the reasons why the Trump campaign and Trump's largest super PAC have spent more money buying TV ads in Georgia in the first 2 weeks.
Donald Trump. Fox polls are rigged and worthless. Here we go again. Fox News has released a series of polls in Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, and Nevada, all of which show head-to-head race between President Trump and Kamala Harris well within the margin of error. However, that doesn't account for Fox News' own margin of error in their fall surveys. Compared to, oh my God, they're just fucking running the tape. Dude. For the record, once again, Fox News' pollsters are not like attached to the hip with the Fox News editorial team. They do have solid polls. This is a thing that I always have to remind people. Okay? So this doesn't mean that like, well, Fox is like on Trump's side and his polls, even the Fox News polls show that he's like doing poorly. Like, that's not what this means. Okay? Calm down before you make such assertions. That's not what this means at all. Okay? Having said that, obviously the polls look bad for Trump, and he's so mad that he's just like shitting on Fox News. Yes, Fox partners with GOP and Democratic pollsters. They are not. Their polls are reliable. Hey man, this is confidential information. Well, he posted it on his Truth Social, so I think it's fine. This is a bit late, but Kamala's senior advisor was literally one of Hillary's in 2016. I wouldn't count on her for smart decisions. I think there is a crisis of talent in the Democratic Party's like staffer side, legitimately. I think like all of the fucking all the failures have consistently gotten promoted, and that is the reason why they make these awful decisions where you're like, how the fuck is this going on? Okay, how are they making these choices that are so antithetical to like what they've done so far in moments where it matters? Decisions like a 2-on-1 interview, no, that's not a bad decision at all. No, that's actually a good decision. That's a great decision. That's not the problem at all. The real shit is like saying that you want a Republican in your cabinet, saying or coming out with like a more aggressive stance on the military, thinking that you're going to pick up some like lost Trump voters along the line. All of these decisions are idiotic. Okay? They were bad. They were bad policy when it was Biden doing it, but it was at least a little bit more manageable in terms of the politics side of it, because Biden was capable of, as an old guy who had a track record in Congress as like being a relatively conservative Democrat, he was able to, one, captivate certain aspects of the Obama base, being Obama's vice president, but beyond that, was able to pick some of these like more conservative, college-educated white voters, and was actually doing a pretty solid job while hemorrhaging all of the other demographics that the Democratic Party relies on in order to win elections. Okay? Kamala Harris is not Joe Biden. Kamala Harris is a younger black Indian woman. Okay? She should be running a very different campaign than the Joe Biden campaign. She should be running the 2008 Obama campaign, not the 2016 Hillary Clinton campaign, which was a failure, and not the 2020 Biden campaign. Or, I mean, I wish she was running the 2020 Biden campaign in terms of the immigration stuff, but like, she's not even doing that at all.
Of the Kamala Harris campaign than they spent in the entire year. So it does, and Brian Kemp told us, among other things, and has said, the road to the White House runs through Georgia. And this year, it looks like it does.
Yeah, it sure does. And so, of course, they're trying to, on Kamala's side, kind of pump their numbers up in rural areas. They're trying to run this like we're now for hunting and camo hats and pretend like they're, all down with that. We'll see.
That's so funny because that's literally what the failure of a candidate in Georgia did. What was her name? The one who was like married to the fucking CEO of the stock exchange or whatever. That is straight up what she did. No, not Stacey Abrams, dude. The white woman who lost. Kelly Loeffler. Thank you. That is precisely what she fucking did. And she got cumstered. Okay? She got destroyed. That is literally what Republicans do, by the way. It's always fucking coastal elite up jump pieces of shit that come back and they're like, oh, I love Georgia. Don't you Hicks love this shit? Look at me. I'm wearing all denim. Okay? And she got destroyed.
If that works. Here's Brian Kemp saying Trump is smart to just stay focused on the issues that matter. Listen.
I think what he's done in the last few days and what the campaign's been doing, talking about specific messages like he did with our.
There's another CNN interview clip previewing right now. Oh, God.
Next, in the Situation Room, which starts go now.
Wait, what? No. Oh, they're previewing a fucking, they're previewing bits and pieces of the interview at the top of every hour when I serve a 3-minute ad break.
With Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
And if you want to see the uninterrupted coverage, you're going to have to subscribe, chat, for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. Sorry, it's not my fault that they are positioning this at the top of the hour every hour, until the actual ad, until the actual speech, the interview. Here's the 3-minute ad break now, by the way.
Is off today. I'm Alex Marquardt, and you're in the Situation Room.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Let's get right to the breaking news on CNN's exclusive interview with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. We're rolling out a brand new excerpt right now. CNN anchor and chief political correspondent Dana Bash is joining us live from Savannah, Georgia, where she sat down with Vice President Harris and Governor Walz a short while ago. Dana, so what stood out to you about Harris's answers?
There's something very funny about following Obama's worst instincts, not his best.
Including what is happening here domestically, particularly with crisis of people not feeling that they can afford basic things, groceries, housing, and also the idea of what is happening abroad. And in addition to that, I asked her about one of the main themes from her convention, which was just last week. And she discussed there the desire to be the president for all Americans. Obviously, that includes not just her party, not just potentially swing voters who vote for her, but Republicans who don't vote for her. So I wanted to know how that would translate into the kind of people that she puts in her administration if she wins.
You had a lot of Republican speakers at the convention. Will you appoint a Republican to your cabinet?
Yes, I would.
Anyone
yes,
in mind?
I would. No one in particular in mind. We got 68 days to go with this election, so I'm not putting the cart before the horse. But I would. I think it's really important. I have spent my career inviting diversity of opinion. I think it's important to have people at the table when some of the most important decisions are being made that have different views, different experiences. And I think it would be to the benefit of the American public to have a member of my cabinet who was a Republican.
Now, Alex, we have seen Democratic presidents put Republicans in their cabinet. Ray LaHood, who was a Republican congressman from Illinois, he became transportation secretary for George W. Bush. We saw Chuck Hagel, who was a Democratic senator, go into the Bush administration. But the question, obviously, is if she wins, which is still an if in this neck-and-neck race, what is she talking about? Is she talking about somebody like Defense Secretary or Secretary of State, somebody with a very, very important job when it comes to explaining the policies that she has? Or would it be somebody who, not to say that all members of the cabinet aren't important, but maybe has something that is more acceptable to the people who, if she wins, believe that they brought her to the dance? Alex.
And then, Dana, on the policy front, you asked Harris as well to explain her change of position, which she has been attacked for on some key issues like fracking. What did she tell you?
Yeah, I mean, that is the number one or one of the top attacks on her from Donald Trump and his campaign. They call her a chameleon because she has changed her position on a couple of big issues, particularly since she first ran for president, which was in the 2020 cycle. And so I talked to her about some of the sort of big ones, energy, as you mentioned, fracking, which is a huge issue in the must-win state for her of Pennsylvania, and immigration as well. Some of the things that she said during that campaign have changed and shifted as she has spent the past more than 3.5 years as vice president under Joe Biden. I talked more broadly to her, Alex, about how that should be perceived by voters who want to be sure that if they're going to vote for her, that the policies that she is saying that she would put in place now, if she becomes president, are not going to be changed again. And effectively, her answer was, I might have changed some of the...
Are they teasing this? No, they're are they teasing like a test poll? Make sure it's going to be a hit? No, they're trying to max out on people tuning into CNN. That's it.
With the vice president and with
they're doing a promo
ticket,
while simultaneously offering tidbits so that you keep watching throughout the day and not just. I mean, literally, we're tuning into CNN to see what they're saying.
What were the interactions like between
That's the reason.
Harris and Walz in the interview and on the trail that you observed?
They are getting to know each other. These are not two individuals who serve together in any real capacity. They obviously spent time together when she was interviewing for her running mate. They clearly clicked because she said that she wanted him to do the job. But there is a little bit of a new relationship vibe, since vibe is the word of the summer, going on between the two of them. But they clearly have a good connection, and that was obvious not just in the interview today, Alex, but I was with them on the trail here in Georgia. They're on a bus tour, and
damn, this guy's good.